DJDUBL.
It's DJDUBL here, and today I'm sat down with someone I'm so happy to introduce as a multi-platinum selling producer.
Wow.
We've got Rymez in the building.
That's a big introduction. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Multi-platinum, man. Like that's no small thing, bro.
I know it's crazy. I'm extremely blessed, man. Just be working with the right people.
Yeah, working hard with the right people.
Yeah,
you have
exactly.
to say it.
Yeah.
So I saw you at the weekend at the Link Up TV music conference.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's quite interesting because you introduced yourself as a failed rapper turned producer.
It's true. Do you know what it is? Yeah, I was in high school. I tried rapping and I was trying to make beats for myself. No, I was asking for beats for my friends, and no one ever used to like giving me beats out of the producers from my neighborhood. Shouts to them. So yeah, I just started making beats for myself for fun. And yeah, self-taught myself on YouTube. Just went on there, YouTube tutorials and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool.
But the rap career never panned out.
Never popped off. I hated my rap. I hated the sound of my voice.
I was going to say, what were the bars like? Were they, looking back now, like, did you have it and it just didn't work out, or were you rubbish?
Listen, it was terrible. let's just leave it behind us. Yeah.
The honesty is real, brother. I love it. When I heard you say that on Saturday, actually, about being a failed rapper, it made me think, because I've always thought about your name. As a producer, being called Rymez, but being a producer, like I always wondered that about you. If you maybe started out your journey as a rapper,
and people used to know, like people knew from an early age. I used to love rhyming, so that was my thing. I used to just like rhyming all the time, so people just call me Rymez.
So that was the rap.
Yeah,
name.
so I just had it from when I was a kid. So yeah.
Yeah. What led to you becoming a producer then? Like you mentioned, starting making your own beats and stuff.
Well, I was like really interested in stuff like that was out there. The Dr. Dre album. Chronic. I was like, how
2001.
Yeah, 2001.
Woo.
Yeah, I was like, how did he make this? So I used to just like listen back to his and try to remake him all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how I really got a love for producing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It was Dr. Dre.
Sick. Yeah, definitely like undisputed, man. One of the greatest.
The best.
If not the greatest.
Yeah.
What was your first setup like? Do you remember?
I'd say my first setup was, what was it? I just had my mom's old computer, the old dial-up computers.
Okay.
Yeah, so that had EJ for software. I don't know if people knew that EJ DJ Mix.
Right. You know, it sounds familiar. I think I'm just trying to picture like what the interface
it was like the
like.
terrible version of Logic.
Right.
So
okay.
it was that. Then for recording vocals, it was Adobe Audition. And yeah, I used to just do my little raps on Adobe Audition.
What kind of mic were you using?
Yeah, for a microphone, I was just one of these, but it was like the worst version from Maplin's.
Oh, okay, right.
It was like the really cheap £8,
15.99
£8, like £8.99. Well, 15, that's a big budget. So yeah, it was £8.99 microphone. I would just plug it in the computer and I was good to go, mate.
Yes. So you moved from Zimbabwe when you were 13, right?
Yeah, 13, yeah.
Was that quite a large culture shock for you coming to the UK?
Oh man, it was. It was a nightmare because imagine just being a kid, 13 years of his life, he's never had snow, and he moves to London in December. It was like where it was really snowing, heavy snow. I was so depressed, man.
Yeah.
For the first 2 months, I was depressed. I didn't speak to my mom, and she was like, "Hey, you get used to it." And I eventually got used to it. I loved it.
Yeah. So you must have come over like shorts and t-shirt, ready to just continue life as a teenager.
Yeah, exactly.
And you see snow for the first time.
Yeah, it was like nightmare.
Apart from the snow, like what? Because I've never been to South Africa, let alone Zimbabwe. So like, apart from like snow, what kind of differences are there between Zimbabwe and London? Well,
Zimbabwe is a British colony, so it's not a lot of difference in terms of like education and stuff like that. Just English speaking country, so yeah, it's not much of a difference, but it's just the weather for me that was like main difference. Obviously music changed because I moved here. It's a lot of garage I was hearing, so I had to get used to that, and I really loved it, to be honest with you. So I just came into the garage era and garage and grime and stuff like that, so it was pretty cool.
Growing up in Zimbabwe, like what kind of music were you exposed to there? What was played like in and around the house?
My mom loved reggae. She used to listen to a lot of like UB40, a lot of Bob Marley, Peter Tosh. There's a lot of reggae in my house, and my dad used to listen to a lot of like Zimbabwe music as well. To one of the greatest Zimbabwean artists, R.I.P. Oliver Mtukudzi, who just died this year. And yeah, there's quite a lot of like Zimbabwe music in my house. Yeah.
Coming over to the UK, You've gone through the journey of like being a failed rapper and starting to produce, doing the stuff at home, and then Tinie Tempah jumped on one of your beats.
Exactly.
So was he the first artist other than yourself to record on one of your beats?
Yeah, Tinie was the first. Like,
was the first guy.
Like the first artist. So
right.
Yeah, I was in university. My mate was like, "Yeah, your beats sound solid. You should send them out." Because I used to just make it for myself, just for fun. It was purely a hobby for me. I used to miss lectures and stuff, just making beats in my room.
Okay. It seems to pay off now, but still.
My mate was like, "Yo, you need to send your stuff out there, man." I was like, "All right, cool." So the first person I hit up on MySpace was Tinie Tempah, and he heard some of my stuff. He was like, "Yeah, come down to my studio, which was in London, somewhere in Greenwich." And he was like, "Yeah, let's just link up. Let's see what you have." And that was like one of my first cuts with him, MIA. We sampled MIA a song called "I'm Hot."
I'm Hot.
Yeah.
Hard track as well. And you know what? Like listening to it back then, I remember the mixtape. I don't remember the name of the mixtape. I remember the mixtape that Tinie dropped with it on there.
Yeah.
And that was the song that I picked off. Like, you know, when you listen to projects like as a DJ, that was the song I picked off that I wanted in my club sets and stuff. So that was in the club sets. Didn't realize at the time, of course, because
as a little kid,
Rhymes wasn't a name to me. Like Rhymes wasn't a producer I knew about. But even to this day, bro, like I feel like that's one of Tinie's hardest tracks.
Oh man, respect for that, man. Thank you.
Sick, heavy beat, man. Let's go through a list of some of the other tracks that you've produced that people might not know about. So I know like another one of my favorites, like one of my favorite Frisco records since 03.
Yeah, since 03, yeah.
And obviously that samples Wiley.
Yeah, Wiley,
So he's got that, and I know you made the beat for that.
Yeah.
Mona Lisa for Lioness.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, you went back, man. Jesus
Take it back, bro.
How did you find out?
I know this stuff. And so some people, obviously, they don't realise you've made quite a lot of Steph stuff, but in particular, like Real Ting. What other tracks have you made that people might not realise that you were on the buttons for?
Bresh 32 and Doneo.
Whistle.
That's it.
Bro, that was such a hard tune, you know. Shouts to Kojo on there as well. And you know what's funny? I was talking to Doneo about that tune, actually, because at the time, I thought he made it.
Yeah.
And the reason is because it came shortly after Lockdown.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a similar sort of vibe, wasn't it? So was Lockdown like an inspiration for that tune, or was it kind of?
It was just around the time, and Lockdown was popping, and Doneo came in, and we were just like, we love your ad-libs. Can you just do them the same way you done them on Lockdown? And he's just like, cool. And he just done the ad-libs the same way.
Yeah.
And he had just quite the same vibe around the time, so it was cool.
Yeah, I feel like that song got slept on in quite a major way. Like it's Reg, Doneo and Kojo to begin with, and even like the beat slaps in the club, bro. I even play it now. Like certain clubs when they got the sound system set up correct, properly, like it slaps, man. But
the bass, it's all about the bass,
yeah. I do feel like it kind of went under the radar, or maybe because Lockdown kind of dominated that sound so much. Do you know what I mean? But do you feel the same way? Like, do you feel like Whistle kind of got a bit slept on?
It was slept on, man. It's a hard song. I feel like Rich is one of the best artists we have in the country, man. Seriously. So, yeah, if not, he's one of the greatest lyricists like around the world, man. He's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, I love Rich. Shouts to Rich there too.
The video was hard as well.
Oh yeah,
I liked the video.
I love the video. Man. He let me come in the video. There I had 2 little cameos that I'm really proud of. So yeah, it's hard for producers to get some shine sometimes. So
yeah. I do feel like producers, like it seems now it's starting to get a lot more shine and stuff.
Yeah, in the UK we're starting to catch on with like giving producers a bit more light, which is amazing. So yeah. But
it's been a struggle for you guys, isn't it?
Man, it's been a journey.
Been a struggle, bro.
Like even just tagging our beats. I'm sure you heard this at the link up. Still Bangles was talking about this. Like like artists would never let us tag the instrumentals. Like just a couple of years ago. Like now.
Oh yeah, I mean, funnily enough, Bangles actually when I interviewed him a couple of years ago, he told me about that scenario with Go Down South. Yeah. Where the tag was taken off the beat. Like bro.
It's a nightmare, man. Bro. It's a nightmare.
Yeah. When did you meet Wiley?
Oh man, Wiley was in a session. Must have been working with Z Dot, the producer. Shout Z and then there, and yeah, I think we done a track for Wiley. Then he wanted to meet us, and we linked up at Leroy Studios in Waterloo. Then we just caught a vibe ever since, man. Yeah, we've just been working for 10+ years now.
What was the track? The first track, Daiquiris.
Yeah, there was a couple grime songs before that were on different mixtapes, but yeah, Daiquiris was the first one he shot a video to. Then Heatwave and Can You Hear Me? Yeah.
The session around Heatwave, like talk me through that whole process, because obviously Wiley working with Z Dot,
Yeah.
he was doing a lot of grime stuff.
Yeah.
And then you guys just came completely out
left,
the box with Heatwave and made this somewhat like...
Do you know what's funny? When that song came out, it did not even sound pop at all. But then, the way radio rinsed that song so much, it just became automatically pop. So it's crazy because I had never made pop in my life. So yeah, we just shouts that song. It still pays the bills nowadays. So
like I say, I think it's a multi-platinum record now.
Yeah. 2 times platinum. It's crazy. Shouts Wiley.
Yeah, incredible. Did you realize, like, at the time when you were making it, when you'd rap the tune, like Miss D had done her thing and Wiley had finished, did you realize, like, this is gonna do bits?
Do you know what? The rhythm of I was like, this is so different. I kept saying that to people, and people were just like, oh, it sounds like anything. I was like, no, this is very different. There's something nice about this. Then Wiley just took it to labels, and he got it signed literally the day after, and he was a rap ever since.
That's it.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Because the follow-up to Heatwave was Can You Hear Me?
Yeah, that went to number 3 as well.
And I was going to say that was another top 10 one. It went to number 3, yeah. And of course, you had Skepta and JME on there this time as well. Were you guys, when you were making that tune, were you trying to kind of replicate the sound and success of
I can't lie to you.
It was the same year, right? It literally was like...
I literally saved as and just changed the melody. That was
right, so that's simple. Like, same project, change the instruments, new artist.
Bang, here we go. Another hit. It was supposed to be number 1, but shouts Adele and Robbie Williams that beat us that day.
They kept you off. Oh, man. Having those records and like getting that, especially that number 1 success with Heatwave, what kind of opportunities did that open up for you following that?
Tell you what, I started working with a lot more pop artists. Like, I was exposed to a world that I was not used to. It was kind of overwhelming to some extent, because I think 2 years after that I took a year break. Right. Because it was a bit overwhelming. It's just like just so much work, and I was not quite used to that sort of world. And
like a creative overload.
Yeah,
almost,
it got a bit too much for me, but. Yeah, we're back. We're working, so I'm very selective with the people I'm working with now.
So what's behind that selection process then? Like, what's the criteria?
It's the vibe. Like, I think you have to vibe with certain people, and I just don't believe in manufactured sessions sometimes where you just work with people you don't know or you don't necessarily feel. I feel like that could make the whole session a bit long and the song not really as good as it's supposed to be. Yeah.
We're sat now, like, at your studio space. What point in your career did you get your own space, and when did you realize, like, right, we need to take it out of like mum's living room and really get like a studio space? What point?
I think Tinie inspired me, because he had a space in Greenwich that was like a recording studio, and he had a production studio downstairs as well. Okay. So yeah, that made me get my space in Shoreditch, and I was like, oh, I need a space. Then I moved to Chocolate Factory in All Green as well. I got a space in there, and Shouts Labyrinth was next door to me as well. So I witnessed that greatness happening. That's quite inspiring as well.
Surrounded by good people.
Yeah.
Can you explain real quick, like, the importance to the new young producers, the importance of having your own space? Because I know you've had so many opportunities, not even just on your own records, but just having the space available for other people. So, like, explain the importance of that.
Yeah, it's like really important. Like, I can give you an example. Steph London had a session. She was supposed to record a remix for MC Fioti featuring Future. So Future came down to the studio to record the session here, and he was just in the studio, and he finished doing his remix, and I had just so happened to be playing instrumentals.
Just so happened to be playing instrumentals. Yeah, I get you.
This guy can catch a vibe.
The hustle there.
And yeah, you just so happened to pick 1 or 2 tracks from that session alone, and I think 2 of them are already cut, so which is amazing.
Sick. So they're recorded, but they're not out.
Yeah, one is out. One is on Steph Secure mixtape.
Oh, okay,
featuring Future. Then the other one is on this project that's coming out, so which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, sick. So there you go. Get your own studios. Get that stuff locked in. Yeah. You've had so many people like bless your beats. I mean, I had to write a list, bruv, because I couldn't remember them all. Like, just some of the names, like Sean Paul, you've had Sizzler, Popcorn, Wiley, Tinie, Wretch, Kojo, Giggs, French Montana, Tory Lanez, Mr. Easy, Steph London. Like, who else would you love on the track? Like, if there was someone dead or alive that you could be like, I want their voice on my record, who would it be?
Adele.
Okay. So what kind of record would that be? Because I know you've got such like a versatile style.
She would sound really amazing on the old school hip hop, like drum.
Like some kind of boom bap type thing.
Yeah, with just some nice chords, but just break beat-ish, but with some nice chords at the back.
Yeah.
She could kill that.
Yeah.
I can't lie to you. I can hear it. Just need a good top line and we're good to go.
Yeah. Sick. Rhymes and Adele, you know. Mad. When did you meet Steph?
Well, Steph, I met Steph through Vertex. Shouts Vertex, the director. He kept telling me about this girl called Steph. You have to meet her. He sent me a picture. I was like, bro, what am I going to do with this picture? Like, she's beautiful, bro. I was like, I know, but does she sound good? He's like, she does. Then he played me a few songs in his car, and I was like, yeah, she's dope. Then I think he tried to get a session a lot of times, and we just couldn't make it happen around the time. The Steph herself hit me up like, why don't you want to do a session with me? I was like, oh my God.
Was it like capital letters?
Yeah, like what? Like, then we got in. And yeah, we just hit it off ever since, to be honest with you. We just came up with some solid freestyles and stuff like that. We just started building the relationship, and I think it was like 2 years after that, Real Thing came about after like solid like 2 years of working. So yeah. Because
she was bubbling for a long time. She was doing a lot of features and stuff. Yeah. And I noticed like my perception of Steph's come up. There was no like solid body of work from her, no single or anything. It was just features, and she was kind of popping up. And then suddenly just bang, like.
Yeah, she placed herself in the right places with the right people, the right songs. She's very picky. She's a very intelligent woman. So people have to realize that.
Can you name some more of the records you made for her? Obviously, you made Real Thing.
Yeah, Envious with
Abs.
Hurting Me, French Montana. The Hurting Me remix as well. Senseless with Tory, original. Most of the stuff on the mixtape, Tight Nookie with Jeremiah. It's a lot of songs, just too many. The last mixtape, Secure.
You guys have like a great chemistry.
Yeah, it's so easy, man. Literally, our sessions are like quick.
One thing I've noticed about the songs you do make together, they don't sound the same.
Yeah.
How do you avoid making
the same thing,
the same sound over and over?
We're just always looking for some challenging ourselves every time. It could be very easy for us to make 20 or 30 means, you know what I'm saying, and be money hungry and just go for the super hit all the time. But sometimes I feel like you have to challenge yourself and try and make something that's exciting to you, and just to challenge yourself, just to see what else you can make. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to recreate. I could have easily saved that like what I did with the Wiley stuff. But yeah, but
Hurting You 2.0.
Yeah, 2.0. We could have done that.
Hurting us.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hurting you.
Hurting them.
You know what I'm saying? We could have done that, but yeah, we're challenging ourselves, and we've got some massive songs coming, man. I can't lie to you.
You can't leave it there either, so come on. Spill the beans, like.
No, she got singles dropping soon. She got one massive feature on there. So
Drake,
God knows.
She already told me she's got a record with Drake, so you can confirm that.
I don't think it's that one. If she says she got
more,
there's more.
More
you guys know. Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me, to be honest. Like, I know she's very well connected and loved by a lot of people in the industry. When you was making Hurting Me, that's again another one. Like, as a DJ, when I hear it for the first time, I'm like, it's a club tune. Like, this is gonna work in the clubs. It's gonna be a big hit. Do you realise, or did you at the time realise when you finished that tune, when French had sent his verse over and everything was done, did you realise this is gonna be a massive tune?
I already loved the song from early, because she said she wants to get French Montana on it. And I was like, no, get Caesar, because I thought it was like for the streets. I was like, get Caesar, somewhere like that. She's like, nah. She's like, French Montana. It's like, oh, but French is hot right now. It's impossible to get French. In my head, this is what I was thinking. I was like, nah, French wouldn't work with us. He's got Unforgettable out now.
Yeah.
Unforgettable just became like platinum or something, and it was massive. And he sent the vocals back 2 days after sending it. That's how I knew it's gonna be a hit. Because someone like that, around that time, is super busy. He schedules himself to make something on that. He definitely loves the record. Yeah. And he knows like what he could do. So I was like, all right, cool. We got something here.
There you go. Yeah. And what are the figures? I looked yesterday. 124 million on YouTube, 72.5 million on Spotify.
Crazy.
Big numbers, man. Like,
I didn't even know that.
Incredible.
On Spotify, yeah.
Really incredible. I remember at the time when the song was blowing up, there was popped up on my timeline. Someone was saying about how the beat had been taken and it sounded exactly like one he'd made. And when I listened to his, and like, it's true, like the chord progression and stuff, it was similar and that. As a producer, when you're putting beats out and when you're making beats and stuff, how do you protect yourself and how do you protect your your sounds from other people, just hearing it and being like, oh, that's hot, I'm going to do that, and just making their version of it?
It's like a proper grey area, because if you've noticed, like especially with Afro swing, it's like literally the same chords for 100 songs. And I've heard people use, if you could say that about Hurting Me, whoever was saying that, but around that time I remember someone was saying that on Twitter, and I was like, oh, this is funny. But if you listen back to Envious, which is a song I'd made before anybody like done that, it's got the same chords as Hurting Me. So I was using the same pattern I'd used previously on Envious, which is very common in Afro swing anyway. So.
Is there a process that they can go through if they have made a beat, and if somebody's taken it, or if they hear it other places?
I record a lot of my sessions, so most of my stuff is recorded and dated and stuff, so they could never be able to come at me that way anyway.
So it's just about keeping like files on record.
That's why
and stuff,
I've got a clean slate with no lawsuits about copying anyone or anything like that, because everything on mine is recorded.
Right.
So which is
recorded in what sense?
Video. Every time you're recording or making something, always make sure like you're recording it, if that makes sense, in the session. Like if you got a session for big artists, always have, like I'm saying, have some footage of some stuff, how you made it or whatever, or even just like voice notes of how you making stuff or whatever. So something with like
some kind of digital date stamp,
digital print, exactly. So I know a lot of artists, like I've got a lot of voice notes from the time I made most of my songs, like when we're coming up with the melodies and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's always good to have that sort of stuff as well.
Right. Yeah. And it kind of helps.
Yeah, it always covers your back, man, because everyone will try it.
Yeah.
You have 20 people coming at you at the same time saying you copy my beat, so you have to pick which person to that copy.
Yeah, of course.
A chord, like, there's so many ways you can make certain chords, so you can only go one or two ways most of the time. So
yeah. So you got new music on the way.
Yeah.
Is producer album?
Yes, producer album. Got my first single with Stefflon Don dropping on the 4th, if not the 12th of April, called Don't Walk.
Don't Walk. Okay, so what can we expect from the song? Because you haven't played it to me yet.
It's high energy.
I'm hating on you for that as well.
High energy. All I'm going to tell you is high energy is for the clubs, and is, you know what I'm saying? It's not, we're not trying to go poppy on this one. I'm trying to hit. I don't know if you remember back in the day when you used to listen to Bashment and like Sean Paul was out and you just hear one of his new songs in the club, not necessarily on radio, but you get that excitement of like, oh, this Bashment song is on.
Yeah.
I think we need that this time, and I feel like Steph London is like the right artist to do that. And she's giving people that feel right now, especially with the new song she got out with Wiley and Idris Elba.
It's the hard, and Sean Paul's on it as well. It's the hardest. I think that's one of my favourite songs for the club Wiley, right now. Like.
So I think Wiley done that with a producer from Damn.
Right.
And they let me co-produce on that as well, get my little beat in there.
So on that track?
Yeah, on the track.
I didn't realise.
So yeah, it was already a banging song, but yeah, lucky enough they let me do something on that as well.
Yeah. Oh, sick. Yeah, that's heavy, man. I had no idea you even touched that one.
Yeah, it's out now.
This obviously isn't the first project you're releasing as Rymez the producer.
Yes, that's right.
So how does this one differ to the Love Story EP that you put out?
Oh man, the Love Story was just my old manager's that idea of what Rymez has to be, but now this is me taking full creative control of me as a producer and what I like making. So it's more in tune with who I really am. So I think people enjoy this a lot more.
How many tracks?
Right now it's looking like 6 songs, just a 6-strong EP, but it might be more because I keep getting amazing songs from artists, man.
That was my next question. Is who have you got recorded so far?
I can give you 2 names. I got Kojo Funds on there, and who else can I give you that's confirmed? I don't know, my manager won't let me say some of these names, but
he's not here, so it's cool.
I got Steph, I got Kojo, and I'm trying to give you the right name. There's quite a few people.
You say all of them, brother. I'll just pick one if you like.
No, I have to give you the right one. Okay, we got Sean Paul on there as well.
Sean Paul as well.
Yeah.
Nice. Because you've worked with those guys before, I can kind of I can kind of picture what it might sound like, man. Very, very sick. So the single will be from the EP.
Yeah.
Roughly when's the EP coming, do you think?
October.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You're gonna make us wait, bruv. Like,
now I'm gonna drop a few. I'm gonna drop a few bangers. I'll drop 3 videos in between that.
We need stuff for the summer, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, I need to.
This one dropping in April.
Tour with some new Rymez.
Another one in June. Maybe another one in August. Then the EP, you can have it.
When it comes to strategizing and releasing music, because the way things change in music and the game change, like someone might go viral tomorrow with some crazy Instagram dance that blows them up.
Yeah.
And it might just change like certain sounds or change like the trend. How do you strategize so far in advance with what music you want to put out?
Do you know what? You just have to see, like, I work around some of the releases I have with the artists I'm working with around.
Right.
So I would know, let's say Steph is dropping, maybe she's dropping May. I have to drop in April before her because she wants to shoot the video as well for my stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll shoot that, let that come out. So when that's dying down, her single drops and let that come out. Then if I go, let's say I got a single with Sean Paul, if he's dropping in June, I'll wait, then drop mine if he's in July or something, if that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? So work around the artist schedule usually. That's the best way of doing it.
Yeah. Because then their fan base is already buzzing for their stuff.
Yeah, you tap into the fan base as well, which is good. Yeah.
Sick, man. Wow, you dropped some gems today, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like some young producers are gonna be picking up some tips and all sorts from you. So when the EP's out, I want to come and sit back down and like properly pick it apart with you. And
man, we can come down to the launch party. We can do some more stuff there.
There we go.
Listening party as well.
Yes. When's that happening?
Soon.
Yeah. Yes, this is amazing. DJ Double right here, multi-platinum selling producer, you know.
Thank you.
Failed rapper as well, though, but we don't really talk about that too much.
Let's not talk about that.
It's Rymez.